Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, do it so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. Because sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that. I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go. Wait, pop.
I have to put the joke.
No. Hey,
thank you.
Perfect.
For playing, man. I appreciate
Good
you.
timing.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Sí. Wow. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oye, huepa! I never thought I was gonna do that again. Testing over here.
Oh,
Wow, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. We are Longliveboxing EnVivo podcast. Así mismo es. Estamos aquí, damas y caballeros, con Manny Marrero.
Sean el Gringo.
And he is muted.
Try that again, my man.
It's been a minute. It has been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Hopper.
Music to my ear. Breaking it down like it is, always like it should be. And excited to be back in studio. Wow, things have changed so much since the last time we had a show. What was it, Sean?
It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been March 24th. Who's counting?
Shit.
We were ironically bitching and moaning about Usyk and Fury. Here we are.
And we are. Episode 118. And today, ladies and gentlemen, is 119. We have a lot of things going on now in boxing. We're happy to break it down here for you. Así de simple como es debido. And it's good to have you, Hopper. Good to see you, my friend. I'm glad you're doing great, bro.
Oh, it's great to be back, brother. Good to be back on 2 feet, able to walk.
That's right.
Yeah, it's been... It was a rough 2023 second half with the whole ankle injury. You guys are well aware of it, and had surgery in August. Dislocated, broke my left ankle, dislocated my foot, tore all my ligaments. It was bad. It was the whole DAC injury, and it took a lot out of me, man. And a lot of there's a lot of people that kind of helped me out in that. You guys kept my spirits up, and with my family, wife, kids, parents, everybody. Special thank you to everybody. But we're back. EnVivo.
And the good thing about that probably is that gave you time to watch more boxing.
It did. I watched a lot of stuff, man. When I was down, I had a unwanted, unexpected vacation, as people called it, on the couch. And I watched a lot of boxing.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Wow. Well, it's good to have us back, Gringo. It's been a while. What's going on with you, man?
Man, living the dream, man. Back with my bros, Spider on deck. Man, it's time to talk some boxing. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Canelo's kind of a big thing in boxing.
Who?
And had a huge announcement.
So we come back and we're going to talk about Canelo.
Never heard of that guy.
Golly, can we
Ever?
Canelo?
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Oh, okay.
After Canelo
Someone's happy here in this table.
Things have changed dramatically.
Damn.
So as you were sitting on the couch, I'm sure because this recently happened as of 24 hours ago, there's been such a cosmic shift in the boxing landscape. So I know, Hopper, you have a lot of thoughts because people are loving, hating, confused. I got hungry. So many different emotions that are going on when Canelo made the announcement. What announcement am I talking about? And please walk us through your series of emotions so we can get through it together, brother.
Well, I believe you're talking about Canelo and the PBC parting ways. They had initially agreed to a 3-fight deal. They only made it to 1 fight with Little Charlo, Jomer Charlo, and Canelo. The full story is yet to come out, but they couldn't agree on the opponents, the second and the third opponents. So they split. And I'm guessing that's what you're talking about, Gringo.
Yeah, that is correct. Also, some to fill in the blank, the names that were thrown around were Big Charlo for the next opponent. And the one that people keep talking about is the Mexican Monster, coined by Mike Tyson himself, Iron Mike, the David Benavidez, also known as the Ecuadorian.
Yeah, I was about to say the Mexican / Ecuadorian / American. He just recently became the Mexican monster up until a few years ago when he realized that, hey, maybe the Mexicans could probably give me the push and the money that I need. But I digress. Yes, Canelo and the PBC have parted ways. We don't know what to expect. We still don't know what the opponent for Canelo is, but come on, I mean, it's Canelo. He has the best active resume in boxing by far. He's been boxing for 17 years since he was 15 years old. 57 wins, 37 by knockout, 2 draws, 2 defeats. Here. I mean, he is the super middleweight undisputed champion of the world, won titles in 4 divisions, the only Mexican boxer to ever be undisputed, the only Mexican boxer to be world champion in 4 divisions. That Canelo? Is that who you guys talking about?
Yeah, that is the Canelo that we're referring to.
AKA Duck Sauce.
There it is. It didn't take long.
Vivo.
Manny is in the building.
Welcome, Manny.
I'm always.
I missed you, brother.
I miss you too, man. I miss talking about boxing. But man, you got a lot of things that you're absolutely right. I mean, Canelo's been great for boxing. We can't deny that. But we can't also part ways with, like, you know, where are these fights that we want us fans, right, that we want to be able to see? And so it's been a juggling act between here, there, coming in the PBC, and then speculating about, you know, the type of fights he was going to get based on the deal that he had, and then it just didn't start it in the right path. I wasn't really thrilled about it, but I was okay because a lot of you guys have mentioned that Charlo's were the face of, you know, PBC. So what better way to bring him in the PBC and start, you know, showcasing them with the face of them. That's what they say, whether they were inactive or it wasn't really anything that, you know, he could have done, or was it moving up in weight, among a lot of different things. But we were hoping and expecting bigger and better things. And so right now, when we look at the landscape, what's happening right now, it's like a lot of you guys are pretty upset because of the Benavidez thing. It's probably most likely not happening, and I get it. You're thinking duck sauce. You're thinking like Canelo doesn't really want to fight Benavidez or anything like that. But here's a slap in the face to all of you, right? Someone that we've always wanted to see. A great potential, one of the biggest up-and-coming stars in boxing, right? And it making it happen. So I don't want to hear a lot of complaints about this. I think this is a great move. I think this is a youth against, you know, someone that's mature enough in the sport, has accomplished a lot, like my brother said here, and someone that's been up and coming. He's been kind of like shadowed by the fact that who he has fought or who is he fighting, was he protected or not? But at the end of the day, man, Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya make things happen, and I think this is even better for boxing in this case.
So what you're referring to, brother, is
he's talking about Jaime Munguia, probably the matchup that's probably looking forward. That's going to happen in May. We think that's what's going to happen. But I mean, everybody always wants to bring up David Benavidez, right? Of course, and we don't know. Like the PBC always wants to state is the business side of it, and blah blah blah. But here's my whole opinion on the whole take about why he's not fighting Benavidez.
Got it.
And it's simple. I think Team Benavidez fumbled the bag. I mean, put yourself in Canelo's shoes, okay? Accomplished, legacy is already there. He could retire tomorrow and be in the Hall of Fame. You have someone who is constantly talking serious crap about you in the media, called you all kinds of names, always bashing you any chance he can get. And I'm talking about David's dad, Jose Benavidez Sr. How is it possible to insult a man's integrity like that and then expect him to bless you with the multi-million-dollar payday that you're looking for? And David can say all he wants about, I don't care about the money, bro. You care about the money. It's prize fighting for a reason. This fight needs zero promotional push. I think the Benavidez camp, they're tripping over themselves. They desperately want this fight. They're resorting to anything that they can, and they kind of shot themselves in the foot a little bit. And that's just my opinion. So? I think, yeah, because I think the best game plan probably would have been to just keep your mouth shut. You know, talk to Canelo behind the scenes. You don't need to be negotiating in the media, and compare that to the way Jaime Munguia has gone about his business. Remember the post-fight interview against after he defeated John Ryder? He was incredibly respectful, and he said it in Spanish. He said, "La verdad, sería una gran pelea entre mexicanos. Si Canelo nos da la oportunidad, sería un gran honor compartir con él." And translated, it will be a great fight among Mexicans. Right, and if Canelo gives us a chance, it will be an honor in the same ring as him. Now, who would you want to
That's a point. Okay, so outside looking in, because I'm excited by both fights. I know the Benavidez has been talked about a lot more, and it's crazy how times have changed because at one point people were talking about, man, should they arrest even the thought of having Munguia fight Canelo?
Yep.
That's where the whole I don't want to fight a Mexican came from, that conversation, because Munguia wasn't ready. But it's 2024. Things have changed. He's obviously developed
and he looks ready.
He
does. And the time and the planets have aligned to where it makes sense. Golden Boy is already on the DAZN platform. Eddie Hearn, it makes sense. And one thing that Eddie Hearn recently came out on his podcast, IFL, and he commented that the only reason that Canelo left in the first place is, he'll be honest, he had no opponents. The only person he had was Boo Boo, and Boo Boo wanted too much money, so that deteriorated. The opponents were on the PBC platform, but that deteriorated.
That deteriorated fast.
And a big part of that was the little Charlo's performance. And then PBC themselves imploded by having a sponsorship deal in place. And Canelo gave them 2 more weeks with Amazon because, if you look at the pay-per-views, they just don't have the numbers. The numbers just aren't there. Other than, obviously, Tank versus Ryan Garcia, which is a different animal.
Different beast.
Because you have so many casual fans that are attending and wanting to see that fight. But this is totally different. But on most fights, you look at the PBC, hell, even the David Benavidez fight, they look in terms of numbers. If you want to measure success, it was a failure. As far as boxing fans, very entertaining. Him versus Plant was a great fight. I have great respect. Him versus
the whole card.
Boo Boo was a great fight. So he has stepped up his game. But to Hopper's point, if it's a numbers game, he doesn't bring the numbers. He's just an opponent that people want to see that are fight fans. But casuals, he doesn't move the needle. And that's not me being biased or having some sort of narrative or, some kind of hat in the ring. I gain nothing from saying that. It's just reality. If you want to say there's any momentum behind any fighter, and I know Hopper, you can speak to this more as far as understanding the, being a true Mexican warrior, like being from the country, because that matters. It's not what I think, it's what I know. Being from Mexico, and that is Jaime Munguia, that's a bigger fight for Mexico.
Bigger fight.
Well, I mean, so here's the deal. I get what you're saying, and I know a lot of people get confused about this, right? So let me just put it in a different perspective. I'll ask you, Sean. So, what are those fans that are still thinking, because you talk about a boxer that's got momentum. I do think that Benavidez has got momentum. I do think that Benavidez has proven himself. I am a believer that the only reason why we have yet to see, well, not now, but in the past, we didn't see Benavidez and Canelo fight, it was because of Benavidez' fault. There's no question about that.
Correct.
But nowadays, I believe that he had proven himself for the last year to get that chance, to get that opportunity. You finally look at what happened and look at the shift that Canelo did going on to PBC. And so you got a lot of people hyped up. And I'm not saying a lot of people are Benavidez fans. Most of them are Canelo haters that are looking for that boxer to have a momentum. So how would you really, in just a basic, simple, how would you explain those fans, that are still thinking, wow, why Canelo didn't give an opportunity to David Benavidez?
That's great. What my response to that would be, his promotion company wouldn't allow him to, because they couldn't provide the funds to make the fight happen. At a bare minimum, Canelo wants his opponents, they'll start at $5 million, and the PBC couldn't produce that. They could barely produce the money that was needed to provide the fight overall for Canelo. So they couldn't produce the fight. So for that fight to happen, David Benavidez would have to leave the PBC, which may have to happen eventually anyway, if the PBC implodes as the rate that they're going.
That's the rate that they're going, yes, sir.
But what I would say is it's a combination of David Benavidez, what he's wanting, because, it's a opportunity to cash, not say cash out, but cash in with a big fight, really kind of make his name for himself. But it can't be facilitated by the promoter. It just can't be done. Canelo actually gave them, again, 2 extra weeks to see if they could find sponsorship because they didn't have the body of work to show the views from previous fights. So they thought that the PBC said, well, let's try to see Al Heyman and team and Watson. Let's see if we can try to find the sponsorship. And it wasn't there, because when you get to that level, you want to be able to know you're going to make the money. You can't risk the money. You know, they have to know they're going to make the money, and they can't do that, even with Canelo involved. So hence, even with the 2 weeks were up, and Canelo went elsewhere where he knew he could make the money, and they had the opponent.
The guaranteed money.
Makes sense. The guaranteed money.
And then also, I mean, if you believe all the reports, I don't think Canelo had any interest in fighting Jermall Charlo. I mean, because we've always talked about it before, how we praised Little Charlo as being the better Charlo, and that fight was a complete one-sided affair. It was Jermell tasted the power of Canelo in the first round and just got on his bike for the rest of the fight. And that fight with Jermall had absolutely zero interest in the public. I mean, I would have watched, but I didn't. It wasn't a fight I was necessarily wanting. So I think if maybe Jermell would have performed a little better, it would have helped out the cause for the PBC with the rematch for Jermall, setting up the possible David Benavidez, setting up all the funds. But it just goes all the way back to mismanagement from the PBC and promising Canelo something that they couldn't deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, as a fight fan, yeah, I would love to see the David Benavidez fight in May. But I think the way the planets are aligning, we're going to get Jaime Munguia. His time is now. Both fighters, to your point, Manny, and I agree, brother.
Oh no, I totally agree with your assessment, and I think you just hit it on the head on the nail. I mean, you just gave us, you know, the insight to really understand and what I tried to tell people about it. And everything's about the hate. Listen, you know, everyone knows that I'm not my brother here, a Canelo lover. I like what he brings to the sport. I like what's happening in his career, and he's great. He's great for the sport. And I could say I'm a fan, but I'm not a lover. And I don't like certain decisions that he has made. But you know what? It's not my career. It's his career. But at the end of the day, I think for myself, he has proven me wrong in where he goes into a division, takes it over, whether everyone wants to know who were they. But, you know, now we see the true colors of those boxers that have done something different, with the exception of Billy Sanders. We haven't seen him again. But anyway, you know, he has been able to do a lot of things. And so this is where I come in and say, wow, okay, so didn't get that. I really wanted to see that. But, you know, Benavidez and Canelo. But now you come in and don't bring an opponent like Charlo, and you get Jaime Munguia, which a lot of people never thought that was ever going to happen. Well, it's not completely confirmed, but I'm saying is more over here than over there, right? And so this brings more excitement, something to look forward to. And I know a lot of people are going to shift away from the Benavidez bandwagon, or they're going to go down to Jaime Munguia. And that's
how it goes. When you hate on Canelo, it's just whoever he's fighting. That's your favorite fighter for the fight.
What are you rooting for, Hopper?
Oh, you already know who I'm rooting for.
They're both Mexican, bro.
Oh, they are, but no, I got to root for Canelo in that fight.
Right. Oh, okay.
But I mean, I've already won though, so I mean, it doesn't even matter.
It's literally
a win-win. No, but seriously, guys, I'm glad you guys haven't touched on a fight that I would cringe whenever it was mentioned. And I think Manny was really all hyped for it. I'm talking about the Crawford fight when they mentioned it. That Crawford Canelo fight. Oh, is that fight gonna happen, man? You guys have no idea how bad I would cringe when they would mention that. Oh, it's the biggest fight that could be made, Crawford versus Canelo.
I think it is.
Nah, bro, it's not the biggest fight.
I think it is.
It's the dumbest fight in boxing.
Well, I mean,
bro.
because
it's a horrible matchup, and I understand making your money, Crawford, but come on, man, seriously. We just saw the 154 pounder Jermell Charlo go up two weight divisions,
right?
And he couldn't do anything. And I think and is it fair to say that Jermell hits harder than Crawford?
No,
he doesn't punch harder than Crawford.
I don't think so.
I think Jermell punches probably a little harder than, because he's at the 154 pounder. I mean,
but
Jermell felt.
I think Crawford does have that.
He's better than Jermell for sure, but I think Jermell, in terms of just power, just the power, the punching power alone.
I mean, it was a good moment that it just happened, and then they started talking about it, and we just started thinking, wow, if it happens, right? Or even just entertaining itself to if, right? But I mean, you have some point. I get it. But at the same time, it just gets people to be like, whoa, because you're seeing, the best at this division. He could do great at 154. And then you have, Canelo, which he pretty much anywhere he wants. He can go 160, 168, and he still dominates 175, maybe not. But at the same time, he's the face of boxing, I would say, and the cash cow, the guy that people want to fight with him. Even everyone's calling him. Even my homeboy, Berlanga. Right? Of course, you're going to call people like that. You want to get attention.
You want the money.
You want to build up yourself to say, hey, I'm capable of. Is he ready or not? It's a different conversation. But the reality is, Canelo is the guy that everyone wants to call upon. Even UFC fighters want to freaking
wants to call Canelo.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a guaranteed payday. So definitely there. But what I will say for fight fans, irregardless of where their allegiance lies, it should be to the sport. And however they may feel, I know it's been weird these last couple of years. People have allegiances to promotion companies. My allegiance is to the best fights possible, right? So I feel that how it lines to a Jaime Munguia Canelo fight would be fantastic. I have, if there's anything where question to decision making should go, not just to the PBC and the mismanagement of funds, but also, mark my words, and I usually don't say that unless I'm talking about where to go to eat. But I'm thinking that Benavidez going to 175, he's going to regret that because he's asking for something he may not want. Because he said that he's going to get the winner of Bivol.
Oh my goodness!
Either one of those.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, be careful.
And even staying at 168 and fighting Canelo. Come on now, let's be realistic.
But let me ask you something.
In that matchup.
So let me ask you something. Because everyone's got their strategy. All right. And now that you guys are diving into it, I like it because I had a thought. Right, when I heard Benavidez will possibly move up to 175, what has Canelo been trying to do? What has Canelo been trying to do? He tried to do it with Vivo, try to capture another, division world title. You're in line to fight the winner of that fight. It's going to be an undisputed status. All right. Let's say, for instance, Benavidez gets to take the shot and he becomes undisputed at 175. Wouldn't you think that's a route to at least say, hey, listen, come on, I got all freaking belts. Let's make this happen. And he'll probably going to make decisions to say, hey, like you guys talked about, maybe I have to part ways. Maybe I can do it on my own. Maybe I'll go with the other side and Papa Hearn. He makes things happen.
Arabians.
Does that make sense? So the whole part of it is like the telenovela. Todo está como que alineándose. And I don't blame if that's the case to Benavidez. I would love to see if that's the case. But if that's the route he's going, to try to get more attention to say, hey, listen, I can make this pay-per-view. He's gaining popularity more and more and more, not just because of the haters in Canelo, but also as well, he has been proving himself and giving us great fights in the last few years, and people have witnessed that, right? Canelo has been a little bit what? He fought Charlo, he fought this. Who's been having the better fights nowadays? Better paid than Canelo, obviously, but the better fights in the last year. That is Benavidez, right? So watch out for that.
I don't know. He fought Caleb Plant after Canelo fought him and couldn't knock him
but
out.
what I'm saying is this year, the last year, who has Canelo fought? Who has Canelo fought last year?
He fought Ryder.
Okay, and he fought who else? Charlo.
Jamel.
That's it.
The undisputed champion at 154 pounds.
So yeah, to your point, yeah, this.
No, and then but David Benavidez still has to get through. You're completely dissing Daniel Vostik. Who was trained by Eddie Reynoso, actually. I think that's the plan for them. If David Benavidez moves up to 175, he's going to fight Bostic first, and then he wants the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev, who I think that's a very doable fight for Bivol and Beterbiev because, I mean, David Benavidez, he's a name now, but as much clout chasing as he's been doing after Canelo, I think people already kind of know who he is. The sometimes Mexican, sometimes Ecuadorian, sometimes American monster. So he has to get through the Nell first, which is no easy task. I mean, the Nell has always been a very formidable opponent at 175 pounds.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where I don't think he, can't win. Vostik is going to be a hell of a fight.
Oh, it's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, so when he's going to 175, all credit to him. What he's doing is very much commendable. But I will say it's a very questionable move, but at the same time, that's the move he wants to make to move up. He's a big guy.
To get fights, to keep him active, I think he has to do that. And there's no secret right now. You guys know that Benavidez has struggled to make 168 pounds. So if this is the route he has to go and maybe say, okay, I'm going to work on my own, and maybe I can find the way that, you want to come here for an undisputed, another division, 175. I think that'd be a lot easier than just to sit in the sideline, keep fighting these guys at 168 that are not making sense for him money wise.
Andre Jarrell rematch.
Andre Jarrell rematch. Come on, give me a break. So I think that's the case, unless. There's just no way. I think that's a really brilliant move for him, and making the weight now, getting stronger, and let's see what happens in the future. And I'm hoping that's
what
the
did
case.
Floyd tell him when they asked him about the Canelo and Benavidez fight? Floyd Mayweather, he told him something, and I'm paraphrasing. He said, "Hey, you keep fighting, beating the champions, and then you'll be the guy." And I think that's what David's planning on doing. He's, I guess finally he's moving on. And moving up to 175, he does him and the nail. That's an incredible match.
I'd like to. I
love that. What do you think about that matchup, Gringo? I can't wait for that matchup.
It's an unbelievable matchup. That's gonna really test the fortitude of
Eddie
David.
also trained Vosdick, bro.
Yeah, Vosdick is no joke. I mean, he's
at all.
Yeah. And he creates.
I'd like to see him maybe possibly Callum Smith too as well. That'll be a good fight. He fought Canelo.
Oh yeah.
All right. So he moved up to 175, and now he's doing fairly well up there. He's I think he's number 1 in the WBC under mandatory for Birdie Beef. I mean that could be a very.
He lost, didn't he?
Fight.
He got worked, right? Callum Smith.
Yeah, he lost.
Yeah, he got knocked out.
Oh, that was the last one,
yeah.
But that'd be a good fight to say, okay, he's got 2 losses. But that'd be a really good fight, Canelo and him. That'll be a really good fight for him.
For David?
Yeah, for David. To kind of get up. Because Caleb Smith, now you're right, he lost against Birdie.
Yeah.
And so that will probably be something, hey, he already fought a champion at 175. Yeah. He had fought Canelo at 168.
He's fighting Bostic, another
and he's fighting Bostic. No, that's
Bostic fought
I like that.
as well.
I like that fight. I really do like that path that he's taking right now, to be honest. I'm not a big, huge Benavidez
Teddy Atlas at the time.
Yeah.
And,
no, I remember that.
He ran out of gas. Otherwise, he can't beat Reeve some problems. Just ran out of gas.
Yeah, like I said,
it's we're in agreement though, right? Canelo's the GOAT.
No. No one said that.
Woo!
No one said that.
That's all that matters. Episode 1.
Rolly Romero is the
Whoa! Wow! What's in that cup, brother? What's in that cup? What's going on right here?
Red is gone.
No,
but before we close this out, though, and Hopper, you can have the last word. Manny can go next because, hey, as much as we say the planets are aligning and we feel like this may happen or this, it's still that what if, woulda, coulda, shoulda area we don't really like. But fuck it, it's a podcast. Let's go ahead and guess. May, Canelo fights who? In September, Canelo fights who, Manny?
I think September, May, I think that Jaime and Munguia, it's a possibility. I really do. And I honestly think that most likely in September, I don't know, but I've always been a believer that, Canelo Alvarez, as chingon as he is going to desperately want. He wants that rematch against Bivol. Getting away now from PBC, that may give him that chance maybe for down the road. Maybe he won't fight in September and wait for the winner of Birdie. And Bivol, if Bivol wins, that's what he probably may want. So right now I haven't given much thought about who he can fight in September, but I wish that could be a possibility maybe down the line, maybe next year or something like that.
Oh, that's a great point.
Nice.
I mean,
yeah, great.
I
he
like
does
that.
one as a proud Mexican.
Oh yeah, he's gonna.
He wants to get his leg back.
Yeah,
proud Mexicano.
If Bivol does beat Beterbiev, he'll absolutely win.
Fire.
That would be a mega fight. So what I'll say right now is, and I'll quantify it a little quickly. I do think Jaime Munguia in May is definitely going to happen, and I think that what's going to happen, as crazy as it sounds, I think that the nail is going to be hit on the head a little bit too hard. And I think that that's going to cause David Benavidez some problems where he won't be available. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think it's going to be Berlanga in September.
Yeah, you kind of took my answer. That's the path that I was going
I did
down,
not say that because I don't believe that fight should happen. But that's just my thought on that.
Yeah,
coming soon.
You took my answers, Green. That's exactly what I felt was going to happen. It's going to be Jaime Munguia in May, and then the chosen one, right? That's his nickname, Berlanga.
Yeah.
So another chosen one. Yeah, it'll be in September, and I think that's what's gonna happen, man. And hey, that's what Canelo wants to do, I guess. So
Well, I mean, he
Yeah,
didn't say
he's
anything
gonna
about
tell.
it. The only one that called him out was Berlanga. And so, although I am thrilled and I love to see that if that happens.
Mexico versus Puerto Rico.
Mexico, Puerto Rico, it makes a lot of sense. Eddie Hearn can make that happen in any given point. I just don't know that, it's going to attract a lot of people because of the rivalry and the fan base for both boxers, and it's good for boxing. And most likely, where is that going to happen? Right? New York.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, so the thing why I believe that's going to happen, and now we get ready to go to our next episode, but it's not so much about Berlanga being the best option. I think he'll be the best option available and left.
Available. You're right.
Yep.
You're right.
Yep.
Because I
That's
think-
exactly what it is.
The Vostok, I'm telling you, the Vostok Benavidez fight, man, he's going into 175 hot. The block is hot, brother. That is not an easy fight. He could not only lose, let's say he wins, he's gonna be battered.
Yep.
He takes a lot of punishment, and this is
Those guys hit a little harder at 175.
right, exactly. So, and then if he loses, then he's completely out. He's out.
Done. That
done.
Benavidez train is derailed.
So, hey, that's
Yay.
my thought.
Episode en vivo.
119. Así nos despedimos. Hasta el próximo.
Fuera.
En vivo. Ay.